Hello, everyone. Welcome to 360 Degrees Excellence, where we believe everyone can achieve all-round success. Today, I'm going to be having a conversation with my very good friend, Mr. Babalola Oladokun. I call him Kenny. Uh, and today, we're going to be talking about faith in the marketplace. But let me quickly tell you about him. He's going to tell us about himself more. Mr. Oladokun works for SAS. SAS is the an American software company. It leads the Sub-Saharan African, branch of of the company. Is also the head or the founder of Tenets Ministry. He's just going to tell us about that, in a while. So without wasting time, let's get started. So I'll first want Mr. Oladokun to tell us about himself. Can you just tell us about yourself, who you are, where you were born, and every other thing you'd like to tell us, apart from what I've said?
Hello,
Over
Tosin.
to you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tosin. It's interesting that you call me Mr. Maybe because we are on set, but we are so much great friends way back. Maybe distance has separated us a while, but I'm so happy to see what you are doing and to be on set with you. So for my viewers, my name is Babalola Oladokun. For those who know me from way back, you call me Kenny. Uh, I have my first degree in quantity surveying. I got that from the Federal University of Technology, Akure, where I also met Tosi. Subsequently, I had a stint in the construction industry, maybe like 5 years max. Then I transited into the information technology world, where I've always had interest. And I believe I've been privileged to have worked for some of the biggest companies in the world in this area of information technology. Some of them includes Oracle, names like Hewlett Packard, names like Nokia, Dell EMC. And at the moment, I work for a company that is called SAS. SAS is an acronym for Statistics Analytical Software, and I lead the business in Sub-Saharan Africa. SAS is an analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence company. In terms of ministry, I started Tenets Ministry. It's an online teaching and discipleship platform. We have three main prongs. One is teaching, the second is discipleship, and the third is missions. These are areas that I believe that the church seems not to be focusing, or there is a gap. Maybe we'll have opportunity to talk about it in the course of the discussion, but that is a brief overview of what I do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your response. Uh, Fantastic. Happy to be having this conversation again with you today. And you said you've been working in IT for a very, very long time. And I know a lot of young people want to follow these career paths. And also, SAS is also into analytics, and that's one of the fourth industrial revolution um, space, and I believe is an area that young people should really consider. What advice do you have for young people that may want to follow your career path? What advice do you have for them?
Okay, that's a great question, because one of the greatest passions I have is to mentor or disciple younger ones. So it's a question I'm so happy to have. If there are people who are willing to come into the information technology age, or into the space or the industry, I have a couple of advice for you. Number one, check your motives. Why do you want to come into IT? I know most people think there is a lot of money there. Fine, there is money, but there are also other areas that can pay you without you being in information technology. For me, the money was not the primary driver. It has always been a passion, a lifelong passion to be in the area of electronics. And also, I'm surrounded by people who are doing a lot of that. I have an uncle, my twin brother, his wife, and on and on. So it was something that there were so many of us, and I thought I could learn from those people. Now, you are probably coming from another area. Like myself, I studied quantity surveying, then I transited. The whole idea is changing a career is a lot of work. And that is why I said, don't just go there because of money, because there will be challenging times. And if you are not sure that you are called to be in this area, you will doubt, you will not be able to see through. So talking about the point I've said, don't follow money. Money is good and money will come. Anywhere there is value that is being given, money will come. But money can always come later. The first thing I like to say is start early. You see, as soon as I finished university, I knew that I was not going to practice quantity surveying very long. Not that it's a bad career, but I just knew that I would love to do something more interesting that I'm more passionate about as an individual. You see, changing a career is very similar to breaking your bones. I had my young son break his bone several years ago. They put a cast in his hand, and within a few weeks, he was healed. But a 60-year-old person cannot do that. You will run a risk of the hand not healing. So when you change a career, you need to start early. The earlier, the better. The second point I want to make is that it is a marathon, not a 100-meter dash. A marathon means you need a lot of persistence, a lot of perseverance. You know, when I was in the construction industry, I was paying money that was as much as the whole of my 1 month salary. So you need a lot of perseverance to do it. You must be a marathon person, not a sprinter. A lot of people come to me say, we want to change and come into IT. They think once you take one exam, you will start to earn all the money. Not necessarily so. You need to wait. You need to go through the whole haul. The next one I want to say is there are usually waves that come. You see, for people who surf, you watch the wave, and as the wave is coming, you make sure you ride it. That's how you can surf very well. When I was changing, some of the credentials we needed to get were MCSC, CCNA, CompTIA. Today, those are commodity. So because the wave has come and it has gone, you can't say you want to get CCNA and you want to get a big job. It's commodity, it's pedestal right now. If you want to go, watch out for what is the wave, what is it that the industry is demanding. And if I must tell you, the area of data science is an area that there is a huge gap. There is a lot of jobs that are waiting to be filled. So if you want to go, that is a wave that you can catch right now. That is a wave that is getting ready. There are tons and tons of opportunity. If you catch the right wave, it shortens your time to start to get a return on your investment. Okay. The last point I want to make as I hand over to Tosin is get a mentor. When you have a mentor, it saves you a lot of needless hassles and headache because your mentor has gone ahead of you and he can say, don't suffer. That's the essence of mentorship, actually. I, as a mentor, do not want you to suffer what I have suffered. I can make the journey shorter for you by advising you. Those are the few points that I have in terms of changing your career and coming to IT in particular.
Thank you so much, Kenny. Loaded. I can, pick from the importance of passion. Don't think about money. It's also very important for us to be patient and also always think of adding value. Right. And have the necessary skill. Correct. I mean, you mentioned data science, and I think it's very, very important. And today we're really talking about faith in the marketplace. How should a Christian, share his faith? Should you talk about your faith, or should you be silent? Should you be confrontational? And if you think one should do that, how should one go about doing it?
Okay, I would say fantastic question. And it's an absolute yes from the beginning. Jesus said, occupy till I come. The word occupy actually it means to do business with. So trade with. I give you five naira, trade with it, make 1, 2, 3 additional nairas or dollars, whatever it is. And Jesus said, go into the world, okay, and make disciples. So he said, go into the world. He expects that as we mix with people, we will share our faith. Let me also say that for those of us who are in the marketplace, we possibly have opportunities that people in the pulpit do not have. Let me give you an example. When I was in the construction industry, my company built a structure in Nigeria that was being used by another faith. Okay. Now, a pastor cannot go to that place. Because I was a quantity surveyor, I was measuring all the rooms I could touch. There was no place I did not touch. I probably prayed. I prayed, So what I'm saying is there are unique opportunities that people who are in the marketplace have that pastors or people who are clergy, the mere fact that you are named a clergy, people will run away from you. Now, let's go into the nitty-gritty of how should you do it. The first thing that Jesus said is we must be witnesses. It says you will be my witnesses. A witness is someone who has seen something happen and is willing to talk about it. But before you even go to talk about it, and this is the mistake most people make, they are not living the life, but they are talking the story. They're saying, give your life to Jesus, this is what the Bible says. You see, if you're not careful, you will be construed as what the Bible calls holier than thou. You don't go into the workplace and start to talk about, Christianity. That is, you will talk about it. The first thing is live the life. Let them see the value. You see, if you are a true Christian, you should be the best employee. If you are a true Christian and you are a contractor, you should be the best. It should be the best lecturer. People around you should see that there is something different about this guy. And these are the values of Christianity. You give value to your organization. There is, by the grace of God, there's no place I've worked that I cannot go back if I need to. Many, many times it's even difficult to leave the place. So you do the work. Let me give you a story. But before I give you the story, as you are living the life, you will now watch out for opportunities to share your faith. And I'll tell you a story. I work in an environment where we go to big enterprises, organizations, and we look for businesses and all of those. And we're talking about a particular deal. And I said, by God's grace, we are going to have the deal. And somebody said, oh, Babs, that is your job. This guy is from Europe. And I said, it's your job. Essentially, he was saying, you don't need to pray. Take God out of it. But you know what? I live the life. I work hard. Virtually all my colleagues know that this guy will deliver. At the end of the day, we got that deal. And, this same guy who said, take God out of it. It's your job. Don't bring spirituality here. I saw that in the tool that you can use to appraise other people, this guy nominated me for a special award. In other words, he saw that I have gone extra mile, and without anybody asking, he went into the system and said, this guy deserves this award. Now, that kind of person, he does not need me to even say, give your life to Jesus. He already knows that I am a believer and I'm living the life. Now, in terms of opportunities, I have friends who are probably in South Africa now. They saw my life. We got talking. I talked to them about my faith in Christ, and I've been able to impact their lives. At that point, I earned the opportunity to talk about Christ. At that time, I can talk about the marriages. I can talk about the challenges financially. So you need to be somebody who's living the life and is also looking for opportunities, looking for people who have challenges. Everybody who has challenge wants a solution. If you are given a solution, they will listen to you. I have friends who have told me, mentor my son for me. I have people that I talk to in the area of their health. It just be a problem solver. That's what Jesus did. Jesus walked around doing good. But before we start to talk, our life must preach the gospel.
Perfect, perfect. We must live the life. Very, very important. People talk about lifestyle evangelism. Before you now begin to tell people about Christ. And then when you're really living the life, people will see, Bible says, let your light so shine among men so that they will see the good work that you're doing. It's very, very important for us to share the gospel. If we don't do it, who's going to do it? Somebody share the gospel and we got born again. And another thing that I'm also thinking about is that it's not only pastors. People have this conception that it must only be pastor that will be sharing the gospel. The Bible said that, and everyone, I think that was a time in Acts of Apostles that there was a persecution, and the Bible said, and everyone that was scattered abroad went everywhere preaching the gospel. Sure, they preached the gospel through what they were doing, their lifestyle. They were unique, they were different, and they were able to show that they've met Christ. Thank you so much for your response there. Very, very important. And no wonder you started Tenet Ministry. Since you were on campus, we were on campus together. I knew you were a man of the word. You were a teacher. You called to teach, and I'm glad you taking it to the next level, starting the Tenet Ministry, which is an online teaching platform. Can you tell us more about Tenet Ministry?
Okay, thank you very much. Like you said, I came to know early that I am called to teach. I am not an apostle, I'm not a prophet, I'm not an evangelist, but I know that I have the teaching grace on me. So earlier on, everywhere I am, whether it's campus, whether it's a local church, my teaching grace has always come to the fore. Around December 2019, God started to nudge my heart on teaching. So Tenets was started and based on three prongs. Number one is teaching, number two is discipleship, and number three is missions. There is a whole lot of good preaching in the church today, but more and more I'm seeing a gap in the area of teaching, especially the foundational Christian tenets. So that's essentially why I started Tenets Ministry. You also see that there is a lot of population growth. There's a lot of increase in Christian population. In fact, several years ago, someone, I believe from America, said Nigerian Christianity is 1,000 kilometers wide, but a few inches deep. Now, that is an indictment. What teachers do is to ground people. And that is happening because there is a lot of preaching. A preacher will paint with a wide brush. That is, it can make you feel good, it can talk general things, but a teacher will stay on the topic for a very long time, breaking it down, line upon line, precept upon precept. That is what I seek to do in Tenets. So I've spoken about the teaching part, the discipleship part, which is one-on-one. Discipleship says, walk with me until you can walk with Christ. And that's what Christianity is all about. How did Christianity get into Africa? Some people pass the baton on to other people and on like that. So our mantra is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, which says, the things that you have had me teach among faithful men, commit thou to other faithful men who will be able to teach other men also. So you see at least 4 generations there of teaching and passing the baton of Christianity to the other. There is a whole lot of difference between a believer and a disciple. A disciple is a replica of Jesus. Paul the apostle said, follow me as I follow Christ. Imitate me as I imitate Christ. So the third part is missions. There's a whole lot of Christianity in the big cities, but very few of us are going into the interior, the unreached. And when you talk about Tenet, we are leveraging technology, the internet, to be able to take the gospel to the unreached places. You talked about impact. We are less than a year old, and I ran a report for the board a couple of days ago. I was happy to see that in terms of our reach, we are reaching people in Egypt, we are reaching people in India, we are reaching people in Tanzania, not to even talk of Nigeria where we are based. There is this concept of digital missionary. That is what I want to be. I want to sit in Nigeria and be able to reach out to Iran. There are 1 billion people in China that do not have access to the teachings. I want to sit in Nigeria and be able to reach to people in China. So that is what we are doing, leveraging the internet and technology to ensure we teach the gospel, we preach the gospel, we disciple people, and we do mission work.
Fantastic. I'm so happy about what you're doing with Tenet Ministries. Very, very important for Christians to be grounded, in the word. And you realize that in most churches, you don't really have the fivefold ministry, in operation. And people like you can really stand in the gap and really help. And also using the power of IT and technology, a lot can be done. Before I ask you for your closing remark today, I'd like to ask you this question. Can you tell us life and leadership lessons that you learned in the last, let's say, 5 years? Can you just share with us maybe one or two with us?
Great question, because life is all about learning. So it's a big question, but I will try and do it in 2 minutes. The first one, you said leadership lesson, is that leadership itself is very, very important. It was John Maxwell, the American author, who said, everything rises and falls on leadership. So I learned that I need to lead myself first. If I do not lead myself, I cannot lead other people. So I also learned about anticipatory leadership. What do I mean by anticipatory leadership? The leader who is looking at the horizon. Somebody said a leader is someone who climbs a tree, looks at the forest, and shouts, wrong place. So a leader sees further, faster, and earlier than other people. So I am learning to be a student of life and a student of leadership. I read everything leadership, I listen to podcasts, and I want to encourage everyone, lead yourself first. It is only then that you'll be able to lead other people. Now, talking about anticipatory, look at where the ball is going. It will interest you. I still play soccer. I'm a goalkeeper. I personally believe I'm the best goalkeeper Nigeria never had. So, but for you to be a good goalkeeper, you need to anticipate where they're going to put the ball because you don't have time. They put the ball is coming at 100 kilometers per hour. You've got to go for it. The only way you do that is if you anticipate where the ball is going. I think that was what helped me to be able to move into IT to say, okay, this is something that is new. And even now, as I'm in IT, I am leaving the old behind and I'm trying to anticipate what are the changes. So we're talking about artificial intelligence, machine learning. Those are the new stuff. You've got to reinvent yourself. In terms of and other questions, other leadership lessons, I read a book by a guy called Bob Buford, probably the book that has made the greatest change in my life in the last 5 to 10 years. It was John Maxwell that recommended or mentioned Bob Buford. And the book is titled Half Time. And the simple theory there is that our lives are split into two halves. And he says in most games where you have two halves, the game is lost and won, not in the first half, but in the second half. It doesn't matter what the score is in the first half. By the second half, you have the opportunity to win or to lose it. And he says that in our first half, we are looking for success. But in our second half, we should be looking for significance. And if you look at yourself and myself, at this point, it looks like we're already in our second half. And I'm not even talking about age now. In terms of paradigm shift, the reason why you are doing what you are doing is not for money. You are looking for significance. You are looking to make a mark, an impact, and to leave a legacy. The reason why I started Tenets is not because of money. If I want money, I know where to go for it. Okay, and I've made some success. So I'm looking for significance to make an impact and to leave a legacy behind. Last point before I hand back over to you, there's a guy called Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud was an atheist, unfortunately, but he talked about, he drew what is called a Sigmund Freud curve, and it's like an S. Okay, Sigmund Freud says that for many people, their life consists of just one career. If you look at most people, my mother, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, most of them have just one career. And the career is like an S. It starts, it picks up, and up to a point, it starts to drop. But Sigmund Freud says for people who are more successful, you need to have many series of S's. So you have an S. When the career is going down, you start another one, another S. Then you start another one. If you look at me now, I started in the construction industry. I came into IT. That's like an S. Okay, maybe I'll go back to construction now, only God knows. Maybe I'll go into agriculture, only God knows. I'm in ministry now. Each of them is like an S. We're not looking for money, but we are looking for significance. I think I'll stop there. That's too many than time will allow us to say.
Thank you so much. You're just too loaded. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm sure I'm going to invite you again to come and speak, to my viewers.
I'll be happy to.
You've mentioned, you have mentioned the importance of leadership. Leadership is very, very important. Every one of us must be a student of leadership. Like you quoted John Maxwell, everything falls and on leadership. Leadership is very important, and significance is very, and legacy. Mentioning, you also mentioned legacy, and I believe that all of us should also be thinking about what are we going to leave behind. Susanna Wesley says something. Only one lie to soon be over, only remembered by what they've done. And that is what all of us should be thinking about. What am I going to be remembered for? What am I leaving behind? It's not about money. I tell young people that I mentor about greatness. I tell them
Mm,
that greatness is serving people. Like Martin Luther said, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to be the most brilliant person to serve. You don't have to speak the best English to serve. You know, you know, to be great in life. Once you can serve, you can be great. And it's all about leaving a legacy. It's all about, making life better for the next man. And I'm so happy that you are living that. And you're also a reader. I'm sure you mentioned about 3 books now. You're a reader. And I want to encourage our viewers to be readers. Readers are leaders.
correct.
Because when you read, you learn a lot of things. You
Absolutely.
learn a lot of information, and you'll be wise when you're able to apply the knowledge you gain from those books. Fantastic. Can you tell us your closing remark today?
Well, my closing remark again will be something I learned from someone. I can't remember the name, otherwise, I would love to give the credit. The quote says, your life is God's gift to you, and what you make of it is your gift to the world. Your life is God's gift to you, and what you make of it is your gift to the world. I want to encourage everybody to plan as if you will not die in the next 100 years, but to live as if death can come tomorrow. I have a mantra that I coined. I say, live full, die empty. Take advantage of the opportunities and make sure that you plan your life. That is what I'm going to leave my listeners and viewers with. Make sure you plan and live life to the full. Thank
Thank you,
you.
thank you, thank you, thank you, my good friend, for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with me. Very grateful, well appreciated, for what you've done. And I'm so glad about what you're doing. You're still making an impact. Some people, when they finish university, when they started making money, they changed, but you didn't. You are waxing strong. I'm proud of you. May God continue to keep you and your family. To our guest, also, sorry, to our listener, I'm sure you learned one or two things from today's edition. I want to tell you that if you're a Christian, you should share your faith. Ask the Holy Spirit to help you to do that. And I'm sure you've learned one or two things, especially young people that may want to follow Babalola's career path. You can do it if you really, listen to what is said. If you apply the information is shared today, you can really do that. I want to wish you a wonderful day ahead. See you next time. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you, Tosin. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.